Good evening. We're testing this again. I appreciate that you're watching. The Vengeance of Men, page 31. The Vengeance of Men. Ere the beginning, the gods divided earth into waste and pasture. Pleasant pastures they made. Pleasant pastures they made to be green over the face of earth. Orchards they made in valleys and heather upon hills. But Harza they doomed, predestined and foreordained to be a waste forever. When the world prayed at evening to the gods and the gods answered prayers, they forgot the prayers of all the tribes of Arim. Therefore the men of Arim were assailed with wars and driven from land to land, and yet would not be crushed. And the men of Arim made them gods for themselves, appointing men as gods until the gods of Pegana should remember them again. And their leaders, Yoth and Haneth, played the part of gods and led their people on, though every tribe assailed them. At last they came to Harza, where no tribes were, and at last had rest from war. And Yoth and Haneth said, "The work is done, and surely now Pegana's gods will remember." And they built a city in Harza, and tilled the soil, and the green came over the waste as the wind comes over the sea. And there were fruit and cattle in Harza, and there were fruit and cattle in Harza, and the sounds of 1,000,000 sheep. There they rested from their flight, from all the tribes, and builded fables out. Try that again. There they rested from their flight from all the tribes, and builded fables out of all their sorrows, till all men smiled in Harza, and children laughed. Then said the gods, "Earth is no place for laughter." Therit, they strode to Pegana's outer gate, to where the pestilence lay curled asleep. And waking him up, they pointed toward Harza, and the pestilence leapt forward, howling across the sky. That night, pestilence came to the fields near Harza, and stalking through the grass sat down and glared at the lights, and licked his paws and glared at the lights again. But the next night, unseen through laughing crowds through the city, and stealing into the houses one by one, peered into the people's eyes, looking even through their eyelids, so that when morning came, men stared before them, crying out that they saw pestilence, whom others saw not, and thereafter died, because the green eyes of pestilence had looked into their souls. Chill and damp was he, and yet there came heat from his eyes that parched the souls of men. Then came the physicians, and the men learned in magic, and made the sign of the physicians, and the sign of men of magic. Sup?
Oh, what are you doing?
I am reading a book to the internet. Because why not?
Oh, okay. Wait, are you on live?
Yeah, you want to say hi?
Wow, I'm good.
There's literally no one watching this stream.
Is there no one?
0 people. I do not advertise, I just read. To practice reading, honestly.
Oh, actually, no. Wait, how would somebody actually watch that, though?
They'd go to YouTube and search for live broadcasts and then people and books or something like that. I don't know. I need to get better at tagging my stuff.
Oh.
Books or something like that. I don't know. I need to get better at tagging my stuff.
Oh.
What time is it? 3 minutes. I'm going to finish this paragraph and then we will get to get ourselves to martial arts. So you can get dressed now.
Okay.
And then find some socks. There's some on the floor.
Right here.
Perfecta.
Oh, there are also some for you, too.
Yeah, I've got some on the floor. Thank you. Appreciate you. Yes. So, the next night, unseen through laughing crowds, the pestilence, it crept into the city, and stealing into the houses one by one, peered into the people's eyes, looking even through their eyelids, so that when morning came, men stared before them, crying out that they saw the pestilence, whom others saw not, and thereafter died, because the green eyes of the pestilence had looked into their souls. Chill and damp was pestilence, and yet there came heat from his eyes that parched the souls of men. Then came the physicians, and the men learned in magic, and made the sign of the physicians and the sign of the men of magic, and cast blue water upon herbs and chanted spells. But still pestilence crept from house to house, and still he looked into the souls of men. And the lives of the people streamed away from Harza, and whither they went is set in many books. But pestilence fed on the light that shines in the eyes of men, which never appeased his hunger. Chiller and damper he grew, and the heat from his eyes increased when night by night he galloped through the city, going by stealth no more. Then did men pray to Harza. Then did men pray in Harza to the gods, saying, how about? Yeah, that's fine. Then did the men and women of Harza. Nope. Then did the people of Harza pray to the gods, saying, high gods, show clemency to Harza. And the gods listened to their prayers, but as they listened, they pointed with their fingers and cheered. Listened to their prayers, but as they listened, they pointed with their fingers and cheered the pestilence on. And the pestilence grew bolder at his master's voices and thrust his face up close before the eyes of men. We'll stop there for now.